Today, I would like to take a few moments and discuss the impact of the upcoming LIBOR cessation on both security issuers and the debt markets in the U.S. But first, by way of a bit of a background, the London Interbank Offered Rate, or LIBOR benchmark, has been the global standard for debt issuers to point towards to calculate their securities interest rates for the past several decades. A few years ago, the UK's Financial Conduct Authority made a decision to cease publication of the LIBOR and requested that the markets perform an orderly transition onto alternative rates. Around this time, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and a committee they formed called the Alternative Reference Rates Committee, or the ARC, designed a secured overnight financing rate, or SOFR, as an alternative to the LIBOR benchmark. The SOFR is a transaction-based rate that directly reflects the daily U.S. Treasury markets and is much more representative of the value of securities that are indexed toward it than the LIBOR. With the cessation of publication of the USD LIBOR benchmark on June 30th, 2023, and the Fed recommending that security issuers transition to a term SOFR-based rate, it is now critical that these issuers effectively communicate their fallback replacement rates to the markets in a timely fashion. The question that has been posed to the industry is how this can be accomplished without disrupting the broader debt markets, which are estimated to be roughly $200 trillion. To answer this question, one must first understand the current process. Historically, debt security issuers and their agents and trustees have used DTCC's legal notice system, or LEND, as a mechanism to disseminate legal documents that detail changes to their securities. LEND is an online repository of documents in PDF form where subscribed users can research or download available information on the securities they hold at DTC. It was therefore initially thought that the issuers and their agents would go to LEND to communicate the LIBOR replacement rates on their securities. Although LEND is a widely used, centralized repository of information, there are several drawbacks that made this approach challenging. Firstly, pulling information from LEND is a manually intensive process, as it's a human-to-machine user interface where a user physically logs in to export documentation. Secondly, there is limited to no standardization as to what is contained in LEND from a notice standpoint. And thirdly, this can make the information that is available very difficult to discern what is happening, as it is in many different forms or often written in the form of a legal communication. These factors led the ARC to collaborate directly with DTCC to determine whether there could be a centralized and standardized communication procedure created with LEND acting as the system of record, but enhanced to disseminate this information more efficiently. DTCC agreed to take on this task and created an industry-facing working group targeted to issuers and their trustees and agents to create a new, quick-to-market practice. Through regular meetings and information-sharing sessions, each data element required for an issuer, agent, or trustee to communicate fallback rate index information was agreed to and documented using robust data dictionaries, while collaboratively designing a single point of entry to upload this information along with any accompanying documentation and send it to LEND in near real time. This industry collaboration culminated in the creation of the LIBOR Replacement Index Communication Tool solution, which, in addition to being a streamlined interface to communicate replacement rate information, also includes a machine-readable output that can be directly consumed by a subscriber's system for automation. The solution, which has since been deployed to production, is available for all to use to effectively pass along this critical fallback replacement rate information. As June 30th is just around the corner, we are now in the final stages of the cessation, and security issuers and their agents and trustees should confirm and reconfirm their readiness to communicate these important details by performing the following steps. Familiarize yourself using the Fed final rules concerning the recommended transition to term SOFR, as well as the ARC Best Practices Playbook, and begin to take inventory as to which securities are impacted. And once you understand the collection of securities, review all of your contracts, indentures, etc., to verify if there's already predefined fallback, reset details, or pre-cessation triggers, and identify a determining party. Then work on and agree to a communication plan between all parties and determining people responsible for the reset. To help you do this and to communicate your replacement rate through DTCC's new service, DTCC has created an extensive library of documentation, which is available on the US LIBORtransition.org site, and has a client support process to assist with inquiries. With the cessation date now just weeks away, the clock is ticking on communicating your replacement details to the industry.